Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind creation Miss Couture, and today we are doing something a little different because I'm going to redo a colorway that I've created a while ago. I would say like almost a year and a half ago now, and I want to apply what I've learned from dyeing over that period of time and see if the technique used today will create a different color than what I did the first time I dyed it almost a year and a half ago now. I don't know if it makes sense, but basically I'm going to recreate the same colorway using the same colors at the same concentration and see if the technique changed the final result. So let's get into this. So today we're going to try to recreate one of my first color I created like a very long time ago. This is called Autumn Rhapsody, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same colors but use one of the technique I've been more prone to use recently, so layering colors. So we're going to see if using that technique changed the final results of the color. So here we have all the colors that are needed to do Autumn Rhapsody. So you can see that I've set up all my cups. The only one I won't be using a cup for is the chocolate brown. I'm going to be, come on, focus. I'm going to be using this as a speckle at the end, and we shall see what the final result looks like. So I'm going to be doing my, my stock solution now. Alright, so all stock solution are done. I realized that I misplaced the honey mustard. I put it at the end, but at the last step is my emerald green, so I just wanted to make sure that we were going to do the same steps. Well, not the same steps, but that we were going to do the same color in the same order, just to have a point of comparison. So let's get into the pan feeds. Okay, so I'm going to be adding my acid right now. And I'm going to be adding 4 cups of tap water. When it comes to acid, you want to make sure to test your own water at home to see how acidic it is naturally, because depending on how acidic it is, you might need more or less citric acid than I would need. So just something to keep in mind. And we're going to be adding the first color in the pan. It won't look as dark once it's on the skein. Friendly reminder. And let's add the skeins. So I'm going to be using my classic sock base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And the main reason I want to do this experiment of comparing the way I was doing my colors over a year ago and compared to today is simply because I want to see how the technique used with the colors, with the same colors, will impact the final result on the overall skein. And I just want also to see how far I've come and how confident I was, because that color is very important to me personally, because it was one of the first colorway that I use bold colors together, colors that I don't usually use that often together, and like where I felt confident that the final result will look good. So that's why I just want to see, to make a comparison. So we'll do this color first. I will let this go strike the yarn for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I will be adding the second color. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and we have a good color absorption, so we're going to take the skeins out. And we are going to be adding our second color. And the water isn't like super hot right now, so that's why I can put my fingers in there. Okay. And yellows have a tendency to be a little bit slower to absorb, so it might take a little bit longer than 10 minutes for this one. To strike the yarn, but it's okay. I'm curious if we're going to completely lose the yellow in this rendition of my Autumn Rhapsody, because the way I was dyeing it in the first place, we had strong spots of yellow on the yarn, and even when you were knitting with it, you had little spots of yellows. So I'm just very curious to see how this is going to turn out. Okay, well, we're going to let this absorb for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we're coming back after that. Alright. Okay, seems like... Okay, so this looks good. There might be a little hint of yellow in the pan, but that's okay. It shouldn't... Okay, so we should... You can see that this one didn't grab as much. Okay. Alright, let's continue on this journey of rediscovering Autumn Rhapsody. I fear we're going to lose the yellow, but it should create some interesting colors. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to completely lose the yellow. It's okay, it's going to create soft oranges, which is very autumnal as well, so that's okay. That is okay. Okay, so let's this color strike the yarn, and then we're going to do the next layer in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 to 15 minutes, more like 8 minutes, sorry. And we have a tint of pink in the pan, but that's okay because we're adding the red anyway, so it won't do a major difference. I think it's going to be very pretty. Okay, so now we have added the red. We're going to let this go for a good 15 minutes because it's red, and usually reds take a long time to strike, and we need more time for it to like clear the dye bath usually. But it seems that it's going to be not too bad. Alright, so let's stop touching it and let's get this. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. The red is pretty much all in the yarn, but we're going to still work with our yarn. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a little bit to try to see and expose if there's any like patches that don't really have any dye on it, like this over here. Okay, so we're going to open up this here. Come on, little strand of yarn. Okay. Because one of the things that happens with this technique is that since it creates resistance, you will have spots that don't have as much color on it, or no color at all. Which is normal because it's part of the game. So we're just going to try to expose those. And so far the vibe is very different from the color Autumn Rhapsody I showed you earlier, and that's okay. That's part of the experimentation, right? It's part of the process to see how different techniques can do different. There we go. Can do different colors and final results. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I used to do for Autumn Rhapsody, and I'm just going to add it where needed. There we go. And you may be wondering, but Catherine, what about the chocolate brown? I'm thinking about it right now. I'm thinking that maybe what I'm going to do is just let the green absorb and retwist the skeins and then do my speckling. I think that's what's going to be the best. Which we just need to let the green strike the yarn first. It's starting to be hot, so I should probably just... It's actually very hot. Yeah, so we're going to let this strike for a good 15 minutes before adding the speckles, I think. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, let's get to work. Okay, so we're going to retwist those skeins to add the speckles. And I'm just going to keep them in the pan for you to do this. And yes, there is a little hint of green in the pan, and I'm okay with it. Ouch, this is hot. I should start using tongs. Okay, I'm going to grab my respirator and my dye. All right, so now we're going to let this cook for half an hour. Yay! And here's the final result of the experiment of redying a colorway I created with a previous style of mine, and now I try to recreate something similar, or at least try to see how my style of today would affect the final result. And as you can see, we've lost a lot of the yellow that we initially had in the first colorway. And to me now, it's not as much as an abdominal color as it's more of a Christmassy one, which I'm not gonna complain. It's pretty cool result, and it's very dark Christmas. However, it was not the inspiration for the first colorway, because the first colorway was really more fall vibes and autumn vibes than Christmas. So this is just to show you how using the same dye in the same on the same concentration will give a completely different color at the end if you use different techniques. So that was a fun experiment to do for that. And if you've liked the video, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!